So without wasting a single minute, let's jump to the first slide. So yeah, let's first discuss the concept of environment. Environment may be defined as all those conditions and their effects which influence human life. It is the sum total of surrounding and the totality of the resources. According to the Environment Act 1986, environment includes water, air and land and the interrelationship which exists among between water, air, land and human beings and other creature, plants, microorganism and property. Now after that, let's discuss the functions of environment. Environment performs four vital functions which are as follows. First, supply resources. Resources include both renewable and non-renewable sources of energy. Resources which can be used without any fear of getting depleted are renewable resources of energy. For example, trees, fishes, etc. Whereas non renewable resources are those resources which are getting depleted or exhausted. For example, fossil fuel, etc. Second, it assimilates waste production and consumption activity generates waste. It is generally in form of garbage which is absorbed by the nature. Next, sustains life. Sun, soil, air, water are the essential ingredients of environment for the human life. Absence of this will lead to an end of life on the earth. Last, aesthetic services. Environment provides aesthetic services like scenery, which includes rivers, ocean, mountain, and deserts. Enjoying these surroundings adds to the quality of life. Now, after that, the next topic is about the carrying capacity implies. The carrying capacity implies two things. First, resources extraction should remain below the rate of resources regeneration. Second, generation of waste should remain within the absorption capacity of the environment. If these two conditions are not fulfilled, then environmental crisis occurs. Now, after that, let's discuss about renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are those which can be used without the possibility of the resources becoming depleted or exhausted. That is, a continuous supply of resource remain available, for example, trees in the forest and the fish in the oceans. Next, non-renewable resources. These are those resources which get exhausted with extraction and use, for example, fossil fuel. Now, after that, we are going to talk about global warming. Global warming is a gradual increase in the average temperature of the Earth's lower atmosphere. Global warming is caused by man-made increase in carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases through which the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation. Some of the long-term results of global warming are as follows. First, melting of polar ice with a resulting rise in sea level and coastal flooding. Second, extinction of species as ecological niches disappear. Third, more frequent tropical storms. And fourth, an increased incidence of tropical diseases. Now, after discussing about global warming, let's switch to the another topic, that is ozone depletion. Ozone depletion refers to reduction in the amount of ozone, a protective layer in the stratosphere. The problem of ozone depletion is caused by high level of CFC used as cooling substances in air conditioners and refrigerators or as aerosol propellants and bromochlorocarbons used in fire extinguishers. As a result of depletion of ozone layer, more ultraviolet, that is UV radiations, comes to earth causing damage to living organism. The threat to India's environment possesses a dichotomy threat of poverty induced environmental degradation and at the same time the threat of population and pollution from affluence and rapidly growing industrial sector. Air pollution, water contamination, soil erosion, deforestation, and wildlife extinction is some of the most pressing environmental concern of India. Now, after that, let's discuss the priority issues identified in India. First, land degradation. Second, biodiversity loss. Third, air pollution with special reference to vehicular pollution in urban cities. Fourth, management of fresh water. Fifth, solid waste management. Now, the next slide is related to sustainable development. Sustainable development is that process of development which meets the need of present generation without reducing the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. Now, let's discuss the main features of sustainable development. First, sustained rise in real per capita income and economic welfare. Second, rational use of natural resources. Third, no reduction in the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. Fourth, check on pollution. Now, the next topic is about a way to sustainable development. According to Herman Daly, a leading environmental economist, the main needs of sustainable development are first, limiting the human population to a level within the carrying capacity of the environment. Second, technological progress should be input efficient and not input consuming. Third, renewable resources should be extracted on a sustainable basis, that is, rate of extraction should not exceed rate of generation. Fourth, for non renewable resources, rate of depletion should not exceed the rate of creation of renewable substitutes. Last, inefficiency arising from pollution should be corrected. Now, after that, we are going to discuss about the strategies for sustainable development. First, use of non conventional resources of energy. India heavily depends on the thermal and hydropower plants to meet its power needs. Both of these have adverse environmental impacts. Thermal power plant emit large quantities of carbon dioxide, which is a greenhouse gas. If it is not used properly, it may cause land and water pollution. Second, LPG, gobar gas in rural areas. Rural households in India generally use wood, dung cake, or other biomass as fuel. This practice has several adverse implications like deforestation, reduction in green cover, and air pollution. Third, CNG in urban areas in Delhi. The use of compressed natural gas as fuel in public transport system has significantly lowered air pollution and the air has become cleaner in the last few years. Fourth, wind power in areas where speed of wind is usually high. Windmills can provide electricity without any adverse impact on the environment. The turbines moves with wind and electricity gets generated. Its essential costs remain high but it can be easily recovered. Next, solar power through photovoltaic cells. In India, solar energy is used in different forms for agricultural products, daily use products, and even to warm our cells in winter. Through these cells, solar energies can be converted into electricity. This technology is extremely useful for remote areas and for places where supply of power line is either not possible or proves very costly. This technique is also totally free from pollution. Next, biocomposting. In order to increase production, we have started using chemical fertilizers which are adversely affecting the water bodies, groundwater system, etc. But again, farmers in large number have started using organic fertilizers for production. Next, mini hydro plants. Mountainous regions have streams everywhere. Most of such streams are perennial. Mini hydro plants use the energy of such streams to move small turbines which generate electricity. Such power plants are more or less environmental friendly. Next, traditional knowledge and practices. Traditionally, India people have been close to their environment. If we look back at our agriculture system, healthcare system, housing, transport, etc., we find that all practices have been environment friendly. But in recent years, we have been moving away from these practices. This is caused by large scale damage to our environment. So, students, here your chapter ends. If you have any doubt, you can write down in the comment section. And now it's time for your reward question. Today's question is define sustainable development. What are the strategies for sustainable development? All you have to do is to just comment down your answer and the perfect answer will be rewarded by us. So I will be back with my another video. Till then, thank you everyone.